Danielle.
Hi, Kate.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm good. Happy Wednesday live broadcast.
Happy Wednesday.
Yes, and before we get any further, I want to say a big shout out to our Chris. It's his birthday today.
Aw, happy
So
birthday.
happy birthday to the man behind the powerhouse woman, my sweetheart. So
Oh,
happy birthday to my Chris.
man.
So he does so much for us here at Beadshop and so much for us here. So yes, happy birthday to my
Aw,
Chris.
that's awesome. It's a good birthday too. December
Yeah,
10th. December.
it is. It is December 10th. I love it. Janice noticed that we are wearing similar colors.
Similar colors, yeah.
Coordinating,
I was
right?
like, this way.
I love it. I also thought I'd put on a big fancy brooch because when in doubt, add earrings and a brooch. So you know how that goes. Real quick, yes, happy 59. It's our last years in our 50s, so we're gonna make the most of this year for sure.
That confused me because I
What's that?
forget that you guys are 59.
I know, right? It's crazy. 59.
You're so
right?
young at heart.
I love it. And I love that Terry is saying that brooch has a whole entire saga behind it for sure. Yes, actually, yeah, I'll actually have to make something up because this is just out of my brooch collection, but I have a pretty epic one for sure.
It's
And
beautiful.
thank you. Brooches are coming back too. We've seen them on the runway and stuff. And we've also seen like neckties for women. So I have kind of, or for anyone really, but I have an idea for a January project that's rotating in here. So we'll see what happens. But let's talk about your projects, Danielle. First of all, your project box was off the hook. We love it. We've sold out.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So we're really excited about that. We will be getting Danielle's first shipment to us for us to ship out will be here very soon. So we're going to start we'll ship an order as the orders came in. We'll ship an order received. So those actually may start going out next week.
Yeah.
So real excited. Miranda was working on the project insert and yeah, it's going to be good. So, so you will get that shipping notification. So keep an eye out for it. Again, they'll be shipped in the order that the orders came in, that the orders were received. So, yeah, so no spoilers though yet.
No.
Everybody. Not from us and not from you guys. So it'll be fun. So Janice, thank you for putting that up. The project and the handout is up. So let's talk about this project. Danielle, I tossed this monthly mix over at you because we had you coming on today and I'm like, hey, why don't you make something with it?
Hey, tube of beads can go a long way for projects. So
That's right. That's right. So it's our Dickens mix for December. And if you stay till the end of the show, I'm going to talk to you about the monthly mixes for 2026. We'll unveil the theme of the mixes. It's going to be very fun. But the project you did today, we voted on last week, and we are doing odd count herringbone.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm going to highlight your, oh, it's so good. I'm going to highlight your really fantastic project right here. You also have a really great handout that goes with it. So why don't we just get started? I will highlight I will highlight you, sorry, and you will highlight terrible with the camera this morning. Um, so yeah, it's going to be fun. So I'm sorry. And Myra has a question right here that I want to answer before we get to this amazing project, Danielle. I just love it. We are going to be stocking the beads, some of the beads, so you can create some of those projects. So stay tuned about what's going to happen there. So yeah, I promise we'll have plenty of support on it. And Danielle is working. Danielle, you are already working on the next box. Am I correct?
Yeah, I actually have the beads inbound.
Yeah, for February, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that, right? So more on those later. But Danielle, talk to us about this amazing project, what we're going to be doing, and lead us through.
Yeah, so you had sent me this beautiful mix, and the challenge was to see what we can make with it, and then make
That was a challenge.
one of these. Was super easy actually, because these are beautiful mixes. But the idea was to see, how far can we get with one tube? And so the bracelet here was made with almost all of this tube.
Right.
And when you start to get to the bottom, you run out of one color. The one you'll probably run out of colors first is color B, which is this transparent kind of like a dark red. And that's the one that I was running the lowest on. The rest of them still pretty good for keeping going if I needed to.
Yeah. And you know what, Danielle, when we make these, we make them really randomly. We dump them all in one bin. It's an equal amount. So it's kind of a random mix for the monthly mix, really, usually. So I think if people want on the project page, if you like a certain amount of one color, all of the colors are listed on there as well. So if you're like, you know what, I want to make sure that my background or whatever it is you use the most of, I want to make sure I've got enough for that. You can always pick up the tube of that background color too.
Yeah, exactly. And I think in this case, I may have accidentally just used a little too many of them, because I found it to be pretty even. Like,
yeah, okay, good.
Like I was, you're doing a brave thing when you try to pattern with a mixed tube, right?
Right.
And so, but it worked out, and I tried to keep the numbers close to each other, and so
right. Great.
I looked up, hey, how many grams 80 in a tube this size, and how many per count bead would you have on average? And then I tried to undershoot that by 50 per bead color.
Oh my gosh.
That was my approach, but then it worked out really, really nicely. So
I'm telling you, you are amazing when you come up with these. I love it how organized your projects are, and you really approach them from such a thoughtful place. So thank you for picking up my slack.
Oh no, this is wonderful. I think this is beautiful, and you can always just get 2 mixes, and there's no way you'll run out. Or like you were showing, I think I saw earlier you had every color in individual tubes.
We do.
Which would be a total win, because then you would not have to sort even. Like you just have it ready to go.
Right, exactly. So,
and you can make more fun.
But love it.
Beautiful mix. And if you like the XOXO, that pattern is what's featured here, but you can also just do a repeat of the chevrons if you just love the flow of that, just by repeating from like rows 16 through 16. You could just repeat those. So this is just
turn that to the side. Yeah, there we go. That is really cool.
Thanks.
So the one that you have, how does it compare to the one that you've made? Are you going to make the one that you've made longer?
I was going to add the last row together so we can see finishing.
Okay,
but what I did in the handout was I added a little sizing guide, because I wanted to make it possible for it to be adjustable. And so I kept it to what my computer told me was 1 tube. So with 1 tube, you should be able to do this whole thing pretty much. And but my design that's on the mat here, I made it a little shorter.
Gotcha.
But that's totally up to you, like if you want to change the length of it. And so I just indicated how many rows of this herringbone equals 1/4 inch, so you can kind of tailor it to that.
Got it.
And then if you want to center starting position with your ending position, you can do that. But honestly, because of the way it flows, you could just keep going at the end, repeating the chevrons.
Right, right. That makes sense. It looks so good on the translated into the beads. It's really
It's pretty fun.
yeah, it's a great pattern. I really like it. And I like the ombre kind of feeling that you have to the pattern. And that's kind of when Miranda and I were playing around with the beads for this one, because this one, the inspiration, it's called Dickens. The inspiration is the Muppets Christmas Carol. And the character from Muppets Christmas Carol was Gonzo. And of course, these are Gonzo's colors in that movie. So that's kind of where all that ties in. But the ombre is really subtle. It does have kind of a sweater weather kind of feel to it, like a Fair Isle kind of feeling.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So it's really cool.
That's so neat. And I love the way your mix was made with, you did 4 warms and 4 cool colors. So that
Right.
kind of makes an ombre like that just kind of clockwork to do. They automatically flow like that. So it was perfect.
Yeah.
Really
It's kind of heat miser and snow miser a little bit too, right?
Oh, yeah.
I love it. So, all right. Well, I know that a lot of people are a little concerned about odd count herringbone, including me. So
Oh, no.
I'm excited to learn.
Well, it's actually really easy. It's just this one extra little step that doesn't really add, it doesn't add a lot of complexity. So I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised how
Hurrah.
like pretty much it's the same thing, really. There's just one little turn, one little like kind of step up turn. And so I put in the handout, I think I said 90 inches of fire line. And so 6 pound would work great. You could use 4 pound, 8 pound, all of this probably going to be just fine. And then of course for the beading needle, really any size, I think.
I think I listed 10 or 12 or whatever. So it's all there on the list. And don't forget, you can go right to the project page that Janice put up and download the handout there. Danielle, of course, it's one of her, pardon me, one of her classic handouts that we can't do without. So don't forget to go ahead and download. And before we start, Danielle, Mary Ellen has a really great question, and I think it's a great place to answer it here. Mary Ellen's saying, I always wonder when to do odd count and when to do even. Is there a rule here?
Actually, no. I mean, I think you could probably make a beautiful even count work with this class, with either of them, actually. I think we got a request to do odd count in the chat last time. The only thing that I like odd count for is you get a center point, so you can do a pattern that is symmetrical. With the even count, you're going to have an offset, in your pattern, which is still pretty, but
right. So something like that with the X, that red dot in the middle of the X, that is due to the odd count, right? Because it has a center and you work your way out. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So if I had only one less row or one more row, I would have, it would just be a little offset. But sometimes I do a little cheaty border, like I add a little just solid color on one side so you still have a center design and then it has a little scallop or something.
Oh, gotcha. Great. All right. Good to know.
But this is actually easy. I can show, I'll show the diagram, but one of the things you'll want to do first is just kind of go through your mix. And if you have the full tubes, you can just go by the color numbers here. And if you're going with just sorting the mix, what I did to get myself going is I just identified each bead, which is A through H. And I described them on the first page of the handout so that you can figure out which ones they are. But it's basically the opaque, and then it's, down to the lightest. And then it goes from the purpley-ish blue to the lightest blue. So it just goes from dark back up to light.
Nice. Trust you to sort it out for us.
No, thanks. And it's pretty fun to dig through and find the one you need as you're working. So you don't even have to sort it. Just find one of each and lay it kind of in a row. And then there you go. You got it. And again, those are all right there for you. And so, yeah, so the once you identify where you want to start in your pattern, and you can just go ahead and write that on your, on your pattern itself. You can take a ruler and just draw a pencil line at the point you're starting it. And then start going with a ladder stitch. So the ladder stitch looks like that, just whichever pattern you're doing. I'll stick with the one that's here just so it matches, but you'll just ladder stitch the normal way for the first 2 rows. And so what I've got here is 90 inches or so. You're going to end up having to add thread, but 90 inches. And then you'll leave about a 15-inch tail or so to do the clasp attachment with. I think that's what I put on there. Yeah, 90 inches with 15-inch tail. And let's do the laddering. So I'm going to pick up one of the dark reds and then one of the light reds. And then dark and then light. So there's the first 4. And again, I'm just getting that right off the pattern. And let's see that tail there. And I eyeball about 15 inches or so. And then you want to go back through the first 2. So we're just starting a ladder. So you'll get that cute little box that will form. Oops. There we go. I had to find my needle. Then go ahead and head through the second 2. And if you want to reinforce this around an extra time, you can. This first one is always a little loose. So sometimes I'll just go back through it an extra time.
And so let me ask you this real quick, Danielle, to clarify so I'm following. This, with odd count herringbone, we start it with the ladder stitch, right?
Yep.
The two count ladder stitch. Where in the pattern is that? I'm sorry.
Oh, so that's right here under step 2 in this case. I put step 1 is kind of sorting the mix out and things like that and getting the sizing, figuring out where in the pattern you want to start.
So I'm sorry, where in the actual pattern in the bracelet? Are we starting on the edge?
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
No, that's.
Yeah, I stuck with where I started the sample that I finished so I could have it match what I did before. Okay. But like if you wanted to start down here, then, you would have picked up the D and the A and then D and then H.
Gotcha. So what you're starting on is right there above the line, correct?
Yeah, I went ahead and just took off the first 3 rows, which is about a 1/4 inch of the length.
And you're doing that ladder stitch in pattern, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then sometimes that can be a little confusing. I know I've heard from folks that, it's because you're having to pick up. First, you're picking up the bottom bead, then the top bead, then the top bead for the next column, then the bottom bead, and making that loop. So far, I've reinforced that, and I'm hanging out down here at the moment. And then when I start my next column, I have to remember picking up the bottom bead, and then the top bead from the the next row, and then so it keeps changing direction, and you have to pay attention to that as you go along.
So could you make your first ladder? Could you make it solid and then go into pattern?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And that would look pretty too.
Yeah. Because I think maybe if I'm starting that, maybe I would do it. I don't know. I think we are all trying to figure out how the beads fit into the pattern. So everyone just stick with Danielle, watch where she's adding, and then we'll go over it again. Okay. So hang in there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we could actually, do you want to start with a solid? We could do that. We could start with solid rows or even.
No, let's just start it with the pattern so people can see how you're adding it in pattern. But would you mind putting the pattern in also the shot so maybe people can see that too?
Yeah. So I have it here and I just need to mark the spot where I'm starting.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
And sorry, it's a little small. I meant to print it a little bigger, but
it's all right. Just trust the process, everybody. We promise you.
So, like if you want, I could also just start from the very bottom if that makes more sense. But
wherever you think. You're in charge, Danielle.
And so, and I see sometimes folks like to flip it and start from, you can do that too. I started down here.
Okay.
I did it the looming way, which is kind of starting
Sure.
at the bottom. That's just a style thing, but yeah, you're going to get the same result no matter where you start. And even if you just did ladders of a solid color and then start your pattern, that's going to be just fine too. And if you
Right.
work top to bottom, that's fine. If you work bottom to top, that's okay too. It's just like looming. In
Right.
fact, any looming pattern you have can be used in this way.
Oh, that's great. Right,
Like
because the
basically,
herringbone, because it's laid out the same way.
yeah, yeah. The one thing I would say is, you know how long this looks?
Mm-hmm.
Because those beads were in a looming pattern. The longer side of the bead is when it's turned on its side, like a sideways donut.
Mm-hmm.
Um, with herringbone, you're flipping them this way, which is their shorter height. So
Gotcha.
it's going to smoosh it.
It's going to truncate it a little bit. Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then any kind of like measurements you might get out of a program like Loomerly or Bead Tool, any kind of
Right.
measurements in you, if you've used Loom to create that pattern, it's going to give you too long of a measurement. So you're going to want to
Gotcha.
take some of the length off of it and just assume it's going to be shorter than it says if you're going from a loom
Mm-hmm.
pattern. But yeah, so what I have here is what's illustrated here. I illustrated picking up an A and then the B,
Mm-hmm.
and the A and then the B, and then I've looped around on those.
Mm-hmm.
And so larger, that's what that looks like. Maybe I should have labeled those. I could do that. I should have done that. And then, so the next thing I'm going to do is pick up a C, a color C, which is that
Right.
AB ruby, then a B, and we'll loop it. And then that's going to put us coming out of this
The
bead here.
top. Right.
We'll pick
And so
up
then
C.
you go down. Right.
Yeah. And you know what? This is, if someone would like a larger of this, I realize it's a little small. If you print it, it might be hard to see the letters. It's clear in the PDF, but then when you print it, some printers aren't that great. Like mine is mine's not great. It's an inkjet. I can provide a larger pattern. It's really large. The one that I tried to make earlier, it fills the entire page with like only
Sure. If
3.
you don't mind, I'll add it as a second handout. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'll
it's
just,
super
you don't
easy.
even need to add it to the other handout. Just make a standalone. And I'll put a second handout link up there.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anyone has Loomerly, I did this in Loomerly, I will send you the Loomerly file so you can follow electronically if you want.
Wow. And Loomerly, I've been using Bead. What's the other one?
Bead Tool 4, also super nice.
Yeah, but is Loomerly, do you think Loomerly is a little more user-friendly? What do you think?
I've been liking it more because I can sit there with my iPad and the stylus, but I did run into one limitation on it. When I was trying to do the exporting to create this PDF, it only offered me the option of making it all fit to one page or making it only 30 rows per page, which makes the pattern really huge. And then when I exported it won't export it with a legend. It would only export it without the letters on it.
I see.
So when I tried to drag it as like a JPEG into my file, so I ran into that issue, which Bead Tool 4 will export it however I want. I can have it with letters, without letters. However many pixels per inch I want. Like, so it's a little more, but then finding those settings in Bead Tool is tricky because you like dig for them, but I know where they are.
Right.
So probably that's a bit of a ramble, but
no,
I saw
I love that.
About word chart. Yes, I can get a word chart added to the second one I sent.
Oh, will you? Okay, great. Perfect. We'll add the word chart as well.
Yeah, I'll do that. Sorry about that.
No. Thank you.
I played with it for a while and I was not happy with the way that printed, so I should have tried a little harder on that one.
Oh, Danielle, you're amazing. So, but thank you. We'll get those modifications up, okay?
Yeah, and so you'll have options then if you like the way that this is printed, go with that. And if you want to use the other one with the word chart, that works too. I can even show you how to do it if you want.
Oh my
God.
do
like you guys want to do a session?
Yeah, I think I need a tutorial on how to do this, to be honest, but we'll save that for another day.
Totally, yeah. So would it be better if I put this one next to us as I work? Would
Sure.
it be too distracting? That's the larger one?
Yeah, let's do that because that has the thread path too, I think.
Yeah, or I can bring that little pattern back over. It's just a little hard to see. It's better in person, but the camera, I'm just looking at my own screen thinking, oh my gosh, that's
yeah,
like not showing very well. But so so I kind of messed that one up there. Sorry. So that's my legend. I'm just digging from the little pile over here, and I should have labeled these for you guys, but I know that one was color C, which is that really beautiful AB ruby. And then we're going back to color B, which is the transparent red, which is that really pretty one.
Yes.
And so just laddering that back through. And one thing I'm just thinking aloud as I go is I feel like sometimes the pattern can be kind of stressful, you know, like getting patterns.
Mm-hmm.
So here I'm going to be picking up this color C and now a color D. And sorry, I made that a lot more purple than it is, but it's just for seeing
so
it.
We can see it. Yeah.
But when I was first learning this, I wasn't even trying to do a pattern. I just did rows that were different colors, and it was really pretty.
Right.
So you could even just go and ombre it like that.
Right.
But
That would
just
be
row by
beautiful.
row. Maybe I should have done that. That would have been.
No, I love this extra spice in there, Danielle. Never second guess yourself. You know exactly what you're doing.
I got about halfway through this one and I fell in love with it. So like when I realized it was getting a little crazy, I was like, I like it though.
Yeah, no. I think adding a little bit of spice in here isn't bad. You know, and people can adapt. Like if you're like, no, I don't want to follow the pattern first. I just want to do an ombre. Then do an ombre. It's all right.
Yeah, exactly. And I just realized I added the wrong color there. Sorry about that.
Wow.
They looked a little close. So
Yeah.
this one, and definitely I should have put the little label on. That's an H. So we'll go with H and then D. And that's something else I could probably do. I could go and put the letters over those.
Well, if you have time, I mean, you're a busy lady, but whatever you toss our way, that would be awesome. Let me also make an observance. If you take a look at the pattern, if you take a look at Danielle's pattern, the top half, when you complete the top half and you go to do the second half, it's just a flip, a reverse of the design, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so the end of it, the way, actually, let me bring that back over and show it. It's not completely symmetrical only because I didn't continue the X going this way.
Right.
I started turning it into chevrons, but if you continued this out from this direction, it would be chevrons too.
Right.
So you have basically.
But I'm saying, Danielle, when you're going on the row itself, you bead the first row and then you have the center and then you flip it, right? So the first,
Oh, I hear you. Yes, it's symmetrical left to right for sure.
Correct. It's just mirrored.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because that I can't even do that. I can't, like, if it's different on left and right, then I mess it up 100% of the time.
Right. So it's kind of like you're just reversing it. So kind of keep that pattern in your mind as you've done the first half. Then you get past the center row, and then you're just doing a mirror of what you did before.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's totally right. Because now we're just mirroring back from the center.
Correct. And that's how, if any of you knit Fair Isle or knit, that's kind of how we do those Fair Isle patterns.
Oh, those are so fun. I love the way those come out. They let the little flowers and the birds.
Yeah, I'm almost done with my Fair Isle vest. Maybe this is the winter I'll get to wear it. We'll see.
Oh, you're working on one?
I am.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
I'll have to show you sometime. It's pretty good, if I do say so myself. But I'm the world's slowest knitter.
I'm still working on a crochet sweater from like 2 years ago.
Well, it's always there for us,
Someday. It'll get done someday. I just, there's always something else I could be working on. And so if I pick that up and I, spend an hour on it, it doesn't look like I did anything.
I know.
So I don't feel satisfied that I've accomplished something. It takes too long.
Same. I think we're twins in that way, but I like to do my needlework like that in the early morning. So sometimes I'll just take like 30 minutes, do a little bit of knitting, get my thoughts in order, and then fight the urge to go back to bed.
That's a good, yeah. And then also that goal of just having, I do 10 rows a day. If I do 10 rows a day, then eventually.
Right. Eventually it'll be done. And I love it. We're not alone, Danielle. Mary Ellen says her knitting work in progress is from 1998. So thank you, Mary Ellen. I don't feel so alone.
Yeah, that makes me happy. Well, another cool thing about doing odd count in a ladder stitch like this one is you end up headed in the right direction. You don't have to do any step ups from this point unless you want to add an embellishment. But other than that, you got it. So there's that first 2 rows laddered at the point in my pattern where I started, which is the one. Oops, sorry, there are my papers. Which is these 2 rows here, basically. Those first 2. And this is actually to scale, believe it or not. It's kind of wild.
Wow. Yeah.
So just those first 2 rows
Are there. Okay. So now here comes the herringbone, right?
Yeah, the herringbone's going to start now. So this is the fun part. Like if this part was at all stressful, just solid color that and don't worry about it. And then just pick up your pattern anywhere you want to. I do work from the bottom to the top. That's just something that makes sense for me. But I think you could do either. You could flip it however you like. And so, yeah, so the next row I've got to put on there. It's going to look like a normal row right up until we get to the end. So,
okay.
So we're basically like, we're over here now and we're just doing a good old row.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to this spot, there won't be another place to add the last beads. That's where the unique stuff up happens. Okay. So I'm going to bring up this one. This is the color C. And then there's one of the clear red ones. Just getting that from the pattern. And so with the first row, you just go ahead and go through both of your beads in your laddered row. Mm-hmm. And stop me if I miss anything or if there's something that could be clarified.
So you're doing this row by row, and in herringbone, you put the 2 beads on at a time and see how those are sitting herringbone-like, right? Like a V.
Yeah, from here on, we'll get this pretty little V shape. And I see Lisa was asking about the word chart. Yeah, I'm going to add that right after. The one that's up there now, I didn't include the word chart in. For looming, I usually don't use it. I use it for peyote, but looming, I have this little ruler board that I follow along. It's like this magnetic little ruler, and so that's why. But I should have thought some folks like it, so I should add that.
Yeah. And you're just putting the beads on in pattern, going all the way down through the 2 below, then all the way up, 2 beads on in pattern.
Yep, yeah, exactly. And just that nice herringbone stitch flow that is so fun to do.
Yeah, I don't do much flat herringbone, and I guess I should. I love the texture that herringbone adds to the pattern, it adds kind of a little sparkle because the beads are kind of offset or at an angle.
I love the whole like tapestry look of it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Tapestry, very tapestry. Okay, so there it is. Now, here it comes.
So there's our, Now you see you've got just kind of an empty little spot there. So you can just head up through those 2. There we go. And then just go ahead and add the last bead for that row. And so for me, that's going to be a color C. And that concludes row 3 if you're counting the ladder part as 2 rows. So there's our new bead, but he's just kind of hanging out there. And so in order to preserve the V's, so the instinct here might be just to ladder these. And I tried that first, trying to make something like this work. Basically, I had a loom pattern that I wanted to do in herringbone, and that was the whole gist of it. But it really does make one side of your work. Like, can you imagine, like one side is just laddered solid like that, and the other side that's flowy.
Right. It makes one look quite right. Yeah.
And you really see it, your eyes really track to it. It takes away from the beauty of that V herringbone thing that's happening. So the way to get around that is to go ahead and take a look now at your row 4 and pick up the bead that is that first bead on the left in row 4. And then bring that on. So there's my first bead.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're adding an embellishment, do that now. For example, if you're adding 315s, go ahead and string those. If you're not doing embellishments, like this one I skipped embellishing, just go ahead and go back through that edge bead of row 3.
Oh, okay.
And so your thread is going to show on the side in this design.
But not much.
You don't even really see it.
No. So I see you kind of are single herringboning. That doesn't really make sense, but yeah, you're doing that single bead to take up that spot, and then you'll go and do your double.
Yeah. So when you pull this through, what it ends up doing
is it
kind of
it in the right direction.
Yeah, it just kind of puts it on the edge like that.
Right.
And then you just bring your needle up through the next column's
Through
set.
the next stack, yeah.
And then you carry on with row 4's pattern.
That is such a simple turnaround.
Yeah, and if you're worried about the tension of it, you can always just kind of hold that bead.
Right.
Hold it tighten. It really does work. And then when you come back and put row 5 on top of it, it locks it in place.
It'll lock it in place. Great. Will you hold this? Yeah, that would be great. So we can see what you did. Great. So you'll go in pattern, herringbone, back, and then you'll make that turnaround when you go to the opposite. Or is the turnaround always on the same side? Right?
The turn will always be, for example, if I'm holding it on the left. Of course, if you flip your work, but it's always, there's only a turn on one side. And then on the other side, you'll have a regular step up. Which can be
Gotcha.
Yeah. So kind of like with peyote, you only have an odd count turn on one side. It's just like
on
that.
one side. So same. Great.
Yeah. And it can work so nicely, even if you just did a row of 3, You could literally just do like 3 beads and then you get a really cool minimalist bracelet.
Right.
And so from here, on my row 4, just going to go ahead and throw that one on there. There we go. This is just going to look like good old regular herringbone stitch. And we're not going through the whole ladder row anymore. So you're just going through the next bead. It's like creating normal rows. It's gonna look like that.
Gotcha.
And so this one was, so we'll do an opaque one. And then one more of the transparent red, color B, almost to the center there. I love when it like pops in place when you're doing herringbone. It just goes.
I know, and it's so satisfying. So let me ask this, Danielle, that first row that you did, row 3, after the ladder stitch, was that you went down through both rows 2 and 1, correct?
Yeah, just for the first one.
Just
it's
and
really
then
hard
the second
to
ones, you just go through the row below it. Is that correct?
Yeah, just like that through the rest of the design. Like, so you'll want to go, the same way through all those beads.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to find another transparent one here. Two more. And then on this side, it's just going to be the same thing we've been doing. Here's the color D. So that's our normal row ready. Normal step up ready.
Right.
Just heading up through those. And then if you add those 3 15-0s on the side, they'll just sit on the side of that bead. Kind kind of like it without. I like it without the embellishment. Sometimes it changes the look a lot.
Yeah, it looks really clean just like that.
Thanks.
And Danielle, you're using either a size 10 or a size 12 needle, right?
Yeah, this looks like a 10, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I've literally got like on my lamp has a magnetic surface. And so it's just like I have, don't laugh, a pile of needles. I don't know what they are. They're just there. I'm lucky I don't have a cat.
I love it.
If I had a cat, those would not be there anymore. They would be thrown to the ground.
Right.
And so I have like this little magnetic board that I usually use that follows along so it sticks to your patterns. You can see where you were.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically I started there and I've just finished 4 rows. So I've got my 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so I'm on that row now to complete.
Gotcha. You're a little blurry, Danielle, but I think that might be your internet, maybe.
My internet. Oh, sorry.
Could be. It's okay.
Yeah.
It'll come back.
Hopefully. On my end, I'm not seeing it.
Okay, let me see. Let me add me to this just real quick. I think I look pretty clear.
You look clear to me. Yeah. I guess my download is working.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll write itself soon.
I've been having storms, and I wonder if that might be part of it.
Oh, the storm. You have a big storm.
Yeah, we're getting late. It hasn't happened since we've been on, but I was having flickering light earlier, so I was like, oh.
Yeah.
No.
So
Sorry,
what I'm going to do, Danielle, why don't you take yourself out of the stream and put yourself back in? Is that
Sure.
okay? And then I'll put myself solo. You go ahead, take yourself out, add yourself back in. So Christine, I think Danielle's using what we have on there, just the John James that we have here at Beadshop, and I'm keeping an eye for Danielle to come back. She said she had a big storm, so sometimes that internet issues. There she is. So I'm going to add her back in, and there you go. I think that's a little clearer, Danielle.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, wow. That's good to know. Just leave and come back. I wonder if it's a caching issue or something in the browser too.
It could be. It's just, every little trick when we get blur, I'll try every trick in the book.
Oh, does it happen to you sometimes with them?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I feel like it's such a thing now, or the internet. So it feels kind of like it's unstable sometimes.
I know. And you're like, come on, not during a demo, please.
I'm like, yeah, just give me 1 hour. Just 1 hour.
Yeah, that's all I need.
It'll work. Yeah. Oh, and so hopefully that last part made sense. The step up there was just a normal one.
Yeah, and will you do a couple more rows for us so we can just see that one more time?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to go ahead and put on this next row really quickly. Yes.
Deborah's saying, have you tried the old adage, have you tried turning it off and on again? That's when I was tech support back in the early 90s at Apple, my 8-month stint at Apple. That was the first thing that you say is,
reboot.
Let's restart your computer. And then the second thing I would say is, that is for your floppy disk. That is not a cup holder, but things are different now.
Oh my God.
But in all honesty, let's start with, yes, exactly, Margaret. Let's start with, is your computer plugged in? I'm not kidding. But, in 92, things were a little different.
It was kind of a new thing then.
Yeah.
It was brand new to the world at the time.
Yep.
I didn't get my first computer until 1996.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. My roommate, my college roommate, and actually one of my high school friends, my friend Sue, her dad worked for FMC, and so he was really into computers. So he got her a K Pro. Now I'm dating myself.
That's awesome.
if anyone knows the K-Pro, but yeah, that was crazy. All right, that looks great. So now you're going to do that add-on.
Yep. And so after you finish the stitching that's normal, you'll get to that spot where you've got that side bead hanging out. And you'll notice it'll kind of be leaning a little bit. And if it's not, you can just go through it and it'll lean itself by going through it. We're just going to go through it like it's a regular, next step of herringbone, right? Just like we've been going through the next bead here in that row. And then pick up the bead that's missing from that row, which for us is this color H. And that completes that row. And then take a look at the next row after that. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's look at the next one. I'm going to pick up a color G, this alabaster color, and slide that down. And I flipped the work in my hand, so it's
Right.
But it doesn't actually matter if you have it this way or that way. And then just go ahead and head through that bead you just added your first bead of the next row and go back to the last bead of the former row.
Got it.
And sometimes it'll spin to the side like that. And that's okay, because when you come back through and you connect, you just bring it back over.
It'll fix itself.
Yeah, it'll fix itself when you complete the row. So don't let that scare you if that happens as you're working. It's going to still work out when you come back. It'll be okay. And then you'll just want to head up through the next one. Usually at that point, I flip it because I like to work from left to right with herringbone.
Yeah, I like to flip. I'm a flipper too.
And this top secret, but I didn't actually use a pattern when I first made it because it's just steps. So you pick up the one before the one you're coming out of.
Right.
And then the one you're coming out of is the next one you pick up. So I wasn't even really looking at the pattern at the time that I was stitching this originally. But you can do it. It's definitely helpful. And then the next one. Oops.
I really like the symmetry of this odd count.
I like it too. And I love that it liberates you to use those cute loom patterns you have that are all going to have a center point.
Okay, so I want to see how you start the row on the other side because I'm doing just a short little row to make sure that I've got the turnaround right.
Oh, cool.
So we'll see what happens.
And so this side is our normal side.
Right.
Just looking for color G there. So that finishes that row. We'll just do our step up here.
And so you just go through the top. So you do see the thread on the side of that bead.
You do. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. All right.
Just barely. I don't know if it's clear enough to tell.
No, I can see that. And then if you were doing an edge, that would probably cover it, right? But I don't think it stands out in the least, really.
Yeah, and if you wanted to do the addition of some 15-0s, that is totally okay to do. You can also just go with 2 11-0 if you don't have 15s. So usually for a size 8, 3 15s or 2 11-0 is a really great side embellishment.
Gotcha.
The look of the 3 15s is cute, but it makes it look really lacy, kind of.
Right.
So it changes the feeling of it. But it still looks really cool.
Yeah.
And so I flipped it again to work left to right, and I'm just picking up the next beads in the next row here. This is just a normal step up, normal herringbone row until we get to the end. Oops, and I just want to change that last bead there. That one is just a little wonky.
Oh, a little skinny.
Yeah, I tend to really select for beads that are kind of the same height in herringbone.
Right. And Leslie's saying, would it matter if you didn't separate the colors in the tubes? You didn't really. All you did was separate the ones out so you had your color order, right? And then you're working from the pile.
Yeah, and in fact, I hit it with paper earlier, so I'm just going by looking at them now. But after
Yeah.
a while, you'll just kind of know, oh yeah, this is this color F for frosted blue.
Right.
And then G is this alabaster blue. H is the shiny. And that was just arbitrary. I just made that up. So you could always change it, make any color adjustments that you like. But I was just going with kind of, light to dark or dark to light.
Mm-hmm.
With the idea of putting that bright color H, which is that clear, bright, light blue, putting that as a pop at the beginning of the blue transition kind of looked kind of cool.
I'll tell you, this herringbone works up pretty quickly.
I can't wait to see what you created.
Well, I just want to make sure that I know what I'm doing. And this is kind of a hack job, but I love learning from you, Danielle. Your instructions are so clear. We all need to take a page out of the Danielle Wicks playbook.
Oh, thank you. I mean, if you want, I can show you. It's so easy. Like when we need that other what's it called, the word chart in the larger format pattern.
Yeah,
it's 3 clicks. Like it would take only a second. So I can actually show you guys that if you want to see it.
Well,
it's pretty
fun. We'll have to work on this. So Lisa's saying, so this pattern could be a loom pattern too. Exactly.
Yes.
It would just be loomed, and the length would be a little different because of the bead is turned a different way, but you could definitely do it as a looming pattern.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, the program doesn't have herringbone as an option, so I just chose loom and made it loom. And then when I printed it out, I just changed it to herringbone.
Great.
That's all it has. Here's a good example of if your bead's facing the other way. See how it's going in the opposite direction. So if you see how your thread's coming out of that last bead, out of that color H there. Just gonna see how I'm kind of bringing it up and then just bringing it behind the work like that. And then just bring your needle up through the bead. When you do that, it'll just spin it back in place.
Gotcha.
It'll just bring it around for you. So now it's facing the right direction. And then you can pick up the last bead for that row, which is our frosted blue. And then pick up the bead for the next row, which for that one is this gorgeous AB amethyst. Slide that down. And then whenever I do these, usually on the mat, I kind of press them into the mat. So you see how you've got bead of that next row. We want to go through this bead. You can just pull it so that it's connecting here and then just push your finger on it.
Right.
And then it'll sit for the most part. It should just kind of adjust like that. So as far as like odd count turns go, I would say it's probably a little trickier than maybe peyote would be, but it's still totally within the range.
It's pretty easy. And then you're just going down through the row below it, right? You're not going down 2 rows.
Yeah, you're just going through, for example, when we ended that row, we didn't have a place for our last bead, so we added our last bead. And then we picked up the first bead of the next row above it.
Right.
And then went back down through that last bead of the row we were finishing. And then you just turn and head up through the next column, add your next column.
And start adding your new row. Yeah. Gotcha.
It clicks. Like after you've done it a couple times, you're like, oh yeah, and you'll see it. Like you can't miss it. And at this point, I'm not even looking at I won't even need to look at the pattern until I get to the tip of the blue, in which case it switches to being an X. So I'll start looking at it as I get a little closer to when the blues start coming together.
Right.
Just bring it back over and take a peek at it. And just looking for, oh, there we go. There's a transparent one. So you kind of dig in for the beads I need as I'm working.
Right, as you're doing it, right. And again, I think that is correct. As you start to work this, you get a feel. Oh, pardon me, excuse me, that sneeze snuck up on me. Pardon me. I guess I'm allergic to these seed beads I'm stitching. But you do get a feel for like what comes next and like, oh, where I'm at the step up row. Yeah.
Yeah. And then this chevroning is so natural that if you just wanted to keep going like this and not even pay attention to pattern anymore, you could do that too.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I did mess up though. See it? As I was saying, I didn't need my pattern. I was supposed to have a
yeah, but you know what? It's hardly noticeable. I wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't have said.
But so we got pretty far. Look how in just this amount of time we got.
In just that amount of time. So do you want to show us how to finish off the other side?
Yeah. So you just keep going with your pattern until you've reached the desired length. The clasp is going to give you like an extra 1/2 inch or so. So not a whole lot. But the last row, you know how in herringbone, when you end your rows, you have these gaps?
Mm-hmm.
So when you put on your last row, you can ladder them in process. And what I put in the illustration was, it may depend on which side you, like, because the rows are different.
Mm-hmm.
If you end with one of those rows where you just created an odd count turn, you'll find yourself coming up from here. And so depending on which row you ended on, it might look like this for you, or it might look like that for you. If that makes sense. But the process is the same. You're just going to be heading in a different direction. So this is showing it right after an odd count turn, and this is showing it from an even count.
Right.
Either way is going to work just fine. And there's another pattern that you guys have that shows how to do this with super duos.
Right. That's our pathways.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the same thing that you're doing in that pattern. You're kind of just laddering as you do that row.
Right. It makes it look nice on the end.
It looks really pretty. And it's because look how cool this side looks. It's so flat and symmetrical. And then this side's looking like it's fanning out. And so it makes it a lot better. And so I'm just going to go ahead and finish this row. So we'll pick up the next beads that I need. So starting, you're just going to pick up those 2 beads. So far, just something normal. And then heading up to the next one. But from here, there's something a little bit different you want to do. You want to pick up basically just the first bead that you need. And so for us, it's going to be this one, I think. So just 1 bead. And then go back through the last 2.
Gotcha. Because you don't need to go down. You don't want to go down too far for laddering.
Right. Yeah. You could even go down through 1. That's a preference thing, actually, I think, because if you just went down through this bead and then laddered up, you could completely do that. I think this is just a style. I think the reason I do this is because I started with a 2 stack.
Right. A 2 drop. Right. That makes sense.
Stimulating that by doing it this way. But there's no reason that you have to do that. You could always just make that last row. And so our next bead is this one. So far, so good.
Looks good.
And up through the next one here. And then I'm going to pick up the next bead I need, which is I'm just copying this row here. This one. And see how cool that makes it look? That makes the edge really, really nice.
Right. Nice and not wavy and really good to attach that clasp to. So it'll be nice and sturdy.
And I think I did kind of mess with the pattern. Apologies, but that's okay. I just kind of winging it.
Just kind of go with it. It's
Yeah.
really,
Can always just do random for the last row too. It's easier.
yeah, just everyone let this be a lesson to you.
Yes. Yeah. I think it looks pretty actually. I'm liking it.
Yeah.
I can't do patterns live. I don't know why. It's just one of those things that have to be in stillness, you know, to kind of do it.
No, I get you. It's, you know, sometimes when there was a show that I was doing, I don't know, I was trying to do the macrame knot or something. And I honestly, my brain went smooth. I had no idea what happened next. And I remember thinking, I'm live on air. This is something I've done a million times. I have no idea what comes next. So if I just kind of keep talking about colors and stuff, it'll come back.
It'll
and
come
it
back.
did. But boy, I was like, I wonder what
Karen
happened.
says she will definitely throw in the wrong beads in places. Yeah, you know what? I feel like that's okay.
Yeah, something didn't fire there. So I'm just going to wait for it to come back.
That's how I am. I'm just like, you know what? It looks cute. I'm going with it.
Yeah. I'll be all right.
But the this was the last bead turn here. So if you happen to have started on a row where you had just finished an even count step up, which I should be showing it in this way. Just basically this one here. You'll be coming out of an edge bead.
Mm-hmm.
If you've just done one of the odd count turns, you'll be ending up coming up out of here. And so you'll want to, this case, I've ended up over here. So I just have an odd bead hanging out by itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to add it. So for that one, just picking up the edge bead that I need, bring that down. And it's kind of just the same thing. You're just going to go back. Push that down. And then just head up. It makes a lot more sense when it's in your hand and you're looking at it.
Oh, yeah, that looks great. Nice and even and really mirroring what you did at the beginning.
And that will feel second nature if you've done the Pathways cuff, because it's the same exact thing. And that's pretty much all you got to do. And then it's clasp time. You don't need your beads anymore. And I think I do want to do like just a stripey pattern on with my other mix, because I have this whole tube. I just want to see what like a stripe, an ombre stripe would look like. Just going regular rows, right? Up to the blue and back down to the red and up to the blue. And
right.
It's so fun. So the clasp is going to be pretty easy to put on. The thing I wrote here is that like it may or may not look like that for you, depending on which side you're starting on. And then, you know, just little adjustments, hair adjustments in the size of your stitching. But in concept, you're either going to want to be passing back through or forward through. And it just depends on where your loop is and what bead you're coming out of.
Mm-hmm.
So this is more like a map of all of these moves are okay. Like if you have a rook, it's okay to do this. It's okay to do that. It's okay.
Right.
All of these moves work. And so then you go back and you reinforce it. And the cool thing is when you reinforce it back, check out what's going to happen. It's going to mirror what happened over here. So in this case, would be going like that. And so you'll end up securing it through both sides as you reinforce it.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened when I actually took it apart. I tested this one time and then worked it back so I could show finishing, and it worked out for me that time. So I know it's really cool. So you will want to just go ahead and dive in one bead here. And I went down through 2, and I did that in the illustration because you're going to be doing this on your laddered row side, and you don't want to have to, if you don't want to have to go down through just 2 beads, you can go through all 3 or all 2, sorry.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense. Because on your ladder side, it's going to be tricky to just jump out of 1. So I leave that up to you if you think you need to do that. And so I went through 2 on that one. And just actually, yeah, we'll go. Here's what it looks like if you just go through 1. On the finishing side, that might look better. right. And so I'm just going to center the middle loop. If you're working with the 4, center the 2 loops as one over the center 3. If you're working with the 5, just center the center loop over that very center point. And then just kind of hold it there as you work. So in this case, I'm going to be coming out of the 3rd bead in that row, go through the clasp, and then just go through the 2nd. Connect it there. Head back up to this one. And then I go down through. You can either go down through it and then up through this one, back through the clasp. So that's what ended up working out on my edge. So if it doesn't work out exactly like that on your edge, don't sweat it. Just kind of line them up. And you see how we're just kind of going through it.
Right.
And from here, it makes sense for me to go right to the clasp.
Right. Oh, you're a little off camera, Danielle. Sorry.
Oh, sorry about that.
Nope.
Yeah.
I just glanced up from my intense stitching and I'm all, wait a minute.
But I'm hoping it makes sense, like, because it might be different for everyone. I don't want anyone to worry too much about. You're just basically lining up those loops with the edges, and sometimes it makes sense to go back through the loop, and sometimes it makes sense to go forward through the loop.
Right. And Myra's asking, do you think it could work with the 3 Clio, or do you think it's a little too not wide enough?
I think it would definitely work. It's just going to look a little thinner on the edge, but that's okay. I think it would work. And the other cool thing about if you did that is it's the same as far as like how to start. You just center that center loop over the center point bead. And then just go ahead and stitch every loop. Just stitch it to the closest one you have. And the thread path I'm showing right now is the one that was illustrated, but it may not necessarily need to be that thread path. It could easily become something different.
Right.
And then just the other thing I was saying is on the finishing side, if you just want to work through the top row, you won't disturb the V's that are below it. And then on the starting side, you'll want to work through both because that's solid, if that makes sense, hopefully. And so I'm going to make a turn. So I just went down through this bead here, and I'm just going to make a turn, head up through this bead. And then I'm going to head back down through this one. And again, in the illustration, it's showing it as a quad because of the ladder. And I'm going to come up through this bead, go back through the clasp. See how we're doing the opposite thing now as we go back?
Right. And so on going back, you're catching the ones that weren't caught before.
No, actually, so kind of what ends up happening is
you're kind of reinforcing.
Yeah, so like it ends up being so when you're headed on the return trip, you end up going through the bead from the opposite direction. So for example,
oh right, so it's
going through the loop from the opposite side. So for example, when I went through the center one on the way out, I was coming out of this bead, going through the loop and going to the center. Now here on the way back, I came out of this side, going through the loop, heading through the center, and that's putting equal tension on both sides of the center. So it's making sure that yeah. So and it also gives you really pretty thread symmetry on the front of the loops.
Right. That's what I was trying to grasp. Excellent.
And it's also completely in the noise as far as what people are going to see when you're wearing your bracelet.
Right.
So a level of you don't actually have to care that I'm going over in great nauseating detail.
No, I love it.
And so I can show on the starting side too, just because it's different because you're going down through both columns, but pretty much that's it. You just weave in from here.
That makes sense. Now, someone has a question that I think is kind of an interesting one to ask. if you did the last rows in a smaller, like if you tapered down to an 11, would that could you do that at all? Is that a thing?
So for one row, it would work pretty beautifully. But then you would have some really big thread gaps between your 11 O's.
Sure.
Like picturing the two 11 O's would be just smaller, right? And it would look really cute there at the end. But then when you do the next row, when you try to travel from this one to the next column, that
You
thread
would have
bridge,
too much thread bridge, right? That makes sense.
but you could pick up a bead in between.
Yeah.
To straddle that jump. And then you would have a bead running in between each column.
Right.
So that could work.
What about tapering? Can you taper herringbone?
Oh yeah, totally. You can.
Mm-hmm.
You can skip columns. In this case, if you wanted to taper it, remembering that it's odd count is the only complication, you'd be moving your odd count to the third position here.
Mm-hmm.
Because you always want to taper in by. Normally, when you taper in your herringbone, you taper it in by column.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do that, you notice we don't have a center point anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Taper in by three, by one column and then one additional.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that makes sense. I'm not sure it makes sense, but
yeah, but there's a lot of ways that you can kind of play around with the closure.
Yeah, I think maybe the trick really is just to bring it in.
Yeah.
Like that, but then you're
ish. I don't know.
Well, I'm worried it would make these change direction in the row taper, but I could be wrong about that. I would need to play with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I could show putting the clasp on this side too, if you guys want to see that too. It's only different in that what I showed here, we were going through just one bead like that, and then on your starting side, you're probably going to be going through the two the whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, why not? And then I'm gonna try and connect my upper camera here so you folks can see what I've got going on.
Oh, thanks, Mary Ellen. Thanks for the comp. I was feeling like maybe this one was a little too what's the word, jarbly, because it's definitely got a lot going on,
No, but I think you really do have to kind of hang with it, to see how it sits. And then once you do, things kind of become clear,
So true. Yeah. And then there's the whole trying it versus watching it.
Yeah.
I don't get it until I've tried it myself.
Yeah. No, exactly.
I try really hard. Lectures were hard for me. Just memorizing and like reading things. I'm tactile.
Yeah, no, I agree. I learn by doing. Let's see. I'm going to try and connect my camera up here.
So hopefully it makes sense. It makes sense when you're doing it. I think this one is just the same thing we were doing on the other side, but I'm going and working through both beads because it's a laddered stack versus working through the single stack on that side. Possibly I should have started with this one because that makes a little more sense. So here we are, the last loop.
Wow, that was great. That's fast. It does stitch up pretty fast.
It really does, yeah. And there I'm just going to make a nice turn so I can reinforce that back. Some tight stitching here. So you see on the back pass, the position of the needle means I'm going to want to go through the loop by backtracking. And that switches after I get to the center. So we'll do one more like that. And this is also why I didn't reinforce the ladder, because that gets really reinforced right here.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly. And if it's reinforced too much beforehand, you're not going to be able to stitch that in.
Exactly. You start getting the need for a size 12 beading needle.
Yeah, exactly.
Down through the center. And then I'm going to head up. There it is.
Very nice.
So I didn't weave in yet, but that's pretty much.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. Really great. Look at how nice and wide that cuff is too.
It really is the perfect width, that 5 one, for the pattern.
Yeah. It
That
really
said,
is.
Still looks super cute.
Yeah. That looks amazing. Really gorgeous. Will you give us a length on that, Danielle?
Yeah. Yeah, so the pattern you see here is what is illustrated out on this page. And so
Right,
it's going to
those
give
lines.
you, with the clasp, you're going to get, it's basically 6 3/4-ish. I'm trying to find my tape measure. Oh, here we go. Yeah. And so keep in mind when you're wearing it, these two become one, you know, so you want to measure, only measure the clasp once. Because see how when you're wearing it, that you don't want to double measure like that, right? You're not gonna wear it.
Right.
So only measure one side of your clasp. And it's about just a hair, because I added one extra row. So it's 6 1/4. It comes up just to like right.
Right. So about 6 3/4. Right.
Yeah.
For that. And we do still have the mix, the Dickens mix in stock. It's in Just In. It's also linked on Danielle's project. But yeah, pick yourself up a couple of tubes if you want, so you have plenty. Or on the project page, also all of the just individual tubes are listed. And if you want to do a different colorway, we used 8 colors in that, Danielle, right?
Yeah, 8 colors. So if you choose any 8 colors and just ombre them in the same cool, warm kind of thing, you'll get something really cool.
Yeah. Well, let me show you, if I may, what I did here, because you were saying, Danielle, to just do a short stack to get it down. And I just had some beads sitting here that were kind of in an ombre color. So this, I did 5 across here.
Oh, wow.
And it went fast, right? So I just did the line, and I did double, since this ladder was a 2 drop, right? You do the ladder. And then I just did the double rows. So this one is the color. This is the 8-1F. This is 4691. This is the Duracoat. I think it's like Duracoat Gold. It's the 4204. And then my favorite, the 1865. So there's 4 colors here. And then I just restarted. So that's one repeat there. And then I did another repeat there. And then I ended it. You know, you can continue to do the repeat down.
That's so pretty. See, I love creating things like that. Oh, and that's going to be the perfect little attachment.
Yeah, so this is about 1/2 inch. And I thought, you know, wouldn't this be cool? You know me, I'm always thinking what would make a great earring.
Oh, yeah.
And it would be a cool slice of, you know, just color there, or non-color, you know, whatever there. And then I was thinking, well, what could I add to the bottom? Maybe I could add drops. Maybe I could go to the symbols and see
Oh.
if I could make some kind of a symbol work for the bottom. I don't know, but this would make a great holiday, just a slice of earring, right, on there. Or see, it's a little bit, it's not super wide. It looks great on the wrist as well. So, and it has, though I'm kind of I'm actually very anti the Pantone color of the year, to be
Oh, God,
completely
me too.
honest. I don't love it. I don't know how you feel, Danielle, but
Have you read the comments section on their post on Instagram?
yeah, it's not great.
It's so
But
hard.
but it's a good background, I guess. I don't know. I was going to write a whole diatribe on it in our newsletter about how, blah. But if we call this the Pantone color Cloud Dancer right here, maybe this is Cloud Dancer, but it's a good background for any color you want to be, right? And I agree, Terry, that the color, they declared their own color, which is rainbow. And I agree 100%. So I still may write my diatribe. My diatribe is to find your color and, you be you. So I don't know.
Let's really Pantone's color.
Yeah, I really don't love it. Right. But yeah, I agree, Mary Ellen. The lack of color is the color of the year, right? Color your rainbow. Exactly. In 2026. I agree, Terry. So I'm gonna right, teal, right? I know, sister. I am right with you, Leslie. So I think I think I might I might write a response to that. Here's the New York Times response as well. Or no, the Fashion News. Thanks, JP. I'm gonna have to read that. But yeah, so it was kind of fun. So Danielle, you really spurned. So if people are like, oh my gosh, I don't want to tackle
the pattern. Yes.
The pattern yet. You were saying just do it in ombre lines, which I did here. And this comes out 5 rows, comes out to be about 1/2 inch. And I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 9 rows, or 18 rows. It's 9 pairs. So 18 rows gives us about 1.5 inches all the way down, right? So
yeah, that makes sense. About every 3 rows you'll get that 1/4 inch or so, and so you can really go to just like getting it really precise to what measurement you would like. Which I do like. If I'm going to do a cuff, I like to make it so that it's not like there's not a lot of space around it.
Yeah,
or between my wrist, I guess.
Yeah. No, so it does fit correctly. I love this comment. Those Pantone folks must be volunteers.
I'm just going to scribble on their color. Just color all over.
I agree. I am so done with like the gray, like gray interiors and just sad beige. My world is going to be full of color for 2026, right? I love it. Okay, so let me put your wrist. There we go. Look at that, Danielle.
I did our weaving in, so now you can see your design, your XOXOs going around your wrist.
Oh my God, I love it.
And then on the clasp side, ignore my last row there. I didn't do good, but it's still pretty. But it's supposed to flow right, into a
right. It flows across. Yes,
that was the dream. I might redo it with the second tube. I might get that perfect, but yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, I love it.
I'm pretty happy with it.
Great. No, I agree. Gorge.
You know what I love doing is making a herringbone bib like a bodice and then doing fringe at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
And you could put like big beads in there, like gemmies or something, or sparkles or bicones or.
Well, fun. I'm thinking maybe I could do that with this earring. I could turn it And then maybe I could just do fringe out of this.
Yeah. Oh,
Right?
yeah. That would be
Maybe.
so cool.
Right?
That would be awesome. Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. This might go into my pile of I just made one thing, like Emily's jars. This will go into the jar. But it's a
Oh my
good,
God.
but it's a good, like if you look at it a little further away, like we're looking at it now, those stripes give it kind of an interesting color tonality, the same way that your bracelet does. When you're not right up on it, it gives it some texture and you can really see the pattern. So I really like it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so fun.
Really nice. So Danielle, do you want to hear what we have cooked up for the monthly mixes for next year? Our theme?
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
tell you our theme before we log off. Our theme is women artists.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Right here first.
it's going to be mostly painters,
Okay.
but I might throw in a quilt artist. Miranda has a cool, like, modern artist that she likes to follow. So it's going to be, the influence is women artists or women in art. So the first one, Janice has already paletted
It's so good.
January. It's really good. It's going to look gorgeous. So
You're gonna love it.
yeah, so you're going to see. So it's women. Yeah, it's going to be all areas of art. But the first one, Janice, is a painting, I believe. So, and we're going to get pretty obscure, I think. I'm already thinking about, it's one of my favorites over at the SF MoMA. She's a woman artist that is pretty well known, but it's going to be good. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think I'm going to do a Frida one. I think I'm going to save Frida for something else.
That was my
We
first
use Frida as our muse all the time. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll do something that's really obscure from her. Maybe. But yeah, we're going to do some deep cuts for sure.
That's so neat. We're
We'll
going to get
see.
a little art education.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. Yeah, like my art history teacher. Yeah. Well, let me put on my art history teacher glasses here. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, I love it. Joy Scott. Yes, Joy Scott. She is awesome. A great artist with beads, right? So email us over at info@beadshop.com if you have an idea about who you might want to see, because we love that information. So yes, I don't know who Clarice Clift is. I'll have to look her up. Oh, Leslie, Joy Scott's a quilter. Okay, awesome.
Oh.
I love it. Cindy Lynch. Oh, and please email me. And I'll have to go back through these. Cindy Lynch is asking, Danielle, would you mind whispering a couple of hints regarding what you'll need for Danielle's January expiration box? We're going to be in Arizona for 2 to 3 months and I need to travel light on my supplies. Sure. Do you mind?
Yeah, no problem. So have some Fireline handy. Crystal's going to be the right color for this one. But you could use smoke too. Smoke will work. And then any, okay, so you know the palette, so we can share the palette. Any KO thread in either like a yellow, gold, brown, white, or ivory, or some light blue or denim blue.
Okay.
So KO thread, some 6-pound Fireline, have some clasps handy. Just like any clasp you like, a toggle, a magnetic one would be cute.
We have a brand new magnetic clasp that's launching, especially for Danielle's box. Oh, yeah. We'll have that up soon. It's so cute. We have it here. It'll launch soon. We don't want too many spoilers. So, but we'll put that up. We'll put it up for you, so you can grab it. We'll put it up soon.
Awesome. Yeah. And then the only other optional thing I was thinking is one of the bonus projects I would like to do may need some leather, but you could also just use some beading wire and some beads. So it's kind of just something to string something on you. That's all I'll say.
All right. I love it. Love, love. Also, a couple of people have asked Danielle, and I'll just let people know. I got a couple of emails about our tote bag class from last weekend. People were wanting to know when the bag handles are coming. And this is why I didn't put them up right away. We had a little delay in shipping. They're somewhere between they're not lost. They're just slow. So they're somewhere between me and like Chicago, I think. So they're getting here. So they should be here within the next week. I will have those bag handles up, I promise, and it'll be linked in the newsletter. I also wanted to give a big shout out and a big thank you to everyone who took the class last weekend. Danielle, teaching people to sew online is no small feat, and being on that side of the receiving end as well as the teaching end, I learned so much. So I'm going to be doing that class again for sure, but a big thank you to everyone who was there. And people are already posting their finished bags in the Beadshop group, which makes me so happy. So
cool. I got to get in there and take a peek.
Yeah. So keep your eye out for some more sewing content. Those bag handles will be in. Janice and I have some new stuff that's going to be launching. So please stay tuned for all of that. We're trying to take a little bit of a pause, get our orders out, all of that. Not a pause, but, take a breath, take a beat, get everything. We're shipping as fast as we can. So I promise you everything is getting out. So we really appreciate all of you with your patience, orders, monthly mix is going out. All of that is going. So thank you all for hanging in there with me, because next we focus on getting Danielle's box out in a timely manner, in a correct manner, so we're worthy of your trust, Danielle.
Oh, you guys are doing great. You guys are the professionals at this. I was winging it here, like I was just like, oh, that was great.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I cannot wait, Elaine, to see your finished bag. It was a lot of fun. So Danielle, we will schedule, we'll chat very soon about the official unboxing date. We'll let people know that. And stay tuned, my friends. We're going to have some projects with Danielle with her monthly mix box. And I mean, February is already in the works. So yeah. I guess we're going to be able to pull this off again.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
Yes,
definitely.
Yes. So January, Kathy, is sold out. We will be selling some of the components of that box. Not everything probably, but some of the components, maybe perhaps, dare I say, mixes that are in there. But stay tuned. Okay. And if this all goes well and Danielle has the capacity, she may be able to ramp up the numbers for the amounts at a later date, but we don't want to overwhelm her. So we are trying to support her and do our best with that. But you will have some opportunities to work with some of the things. Even if you didn't grab the box, you'll be able to play along in some capacity for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks to Danielle's generosity. My goodness.
Because the patterns will all be up, and the seed bead sizes aren't anything weird. They're things you can get. So yeah, you can always, yeah.
And Danielle, what let me tell you this. When I was texting with Nile, and maybe he told you, he wants to join us for the unboxing.
Oh yeah, I would love to have him on. Actually, I was going to ask you.
Yeah, wouldn't that be fun? Because then You can also, and I don't know if Nile still has some of his companion bundles left, but you
I
can
think
jump over to Silver Silk and take a look. But when we do the unboxing, maybe we can, all three of us come together. We can unbox Nile's bundle. We'll unbox your box. We'll have just a fun group bead party. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, and then I will have the projects ready. It's I meant to ask you, do you want to show projects on that day? Like,
sure. I mean, what up?
Like, yeah, but something to hold up, saying,
yeah. Heather's saying that her companion box is going to be to her tomorrow, so she's going to try and hold back on opening it. But we will get with Nile, we'll get a date, and we will unbox them all together. So if you want to be surprised, but I will get, I'll get a date. We'll get a date from Nile, and we'll get that on the book so everybody can mark their calendars.
Woohoo! It's going to be a party.
Oh, such a party. Oh my gosh. Speaking of parties, we've got to get some filling done. We've got to get some things done. Then tonight I'm making Chris steak and lobster for his birthday. So I gotta go teach myself how to cook. So no, I'm just kidding. I am making it, and it is one of my specialties. So nothing too good for my sweetheart. And nothing too good for you, our bead sweetheart, Danielle. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks so much. And I'll send you pattern word chart, bigger pattern word chart coming in right up.
Perfect. So we'll have that. Look for that later on in the newsletter tomorrow, and we'll have a couple of fun things in the newsletter for you tomorrow too. So don't forget to check it out. Thank you so much, Danielle. And we'll talk soon.
Talk soon. Happy birthday, Chris.
All right. Thanks so much, everybody.
Bye.